Okay, I'm here with a computer that runs the Frozen Throne. I can do Warcraft on this computer. So someone asked me, he said, "Hey, this is Utopia." Anyway, someone asked me and he said he wants to give Archimonde's attack animation to the Morphed Demon Hunter. Now actually, this was my code repository, but realistically, I should go into JWC3 and we'll get a status here just as a side thing. That's fine. Great. That's what we needed to do. So what we're going to be doing is using the latest version of my software, which you guys should get. You should do what I do what I'm doing right now, and you'll have exactly the latest version of the software. We should be able to just hit F5. Come on, computer. Gonna get it, gonna get it. We're just gonna hit F5. We're gonna load everything. Except for maybe disarm, which don't use that. Just use the matrix eater. What is this complaining about? Matrix eater can't be resolved to a type. Okay, we don't care about that. Let's fire up the engine. We're gonna give Archimonde's attack animation to the Morph Demon Hunter. Here we are. We'll just click on an undead to get Archimonde. That's where I was going. Here's Archimonde, right there. Isn't that great? We're going to give his attack animation that you see right here, and we're going to give that to the Night Elf Demon Hunter. This guy right here. This guy right here, in his stand alternate. Boom. That right there. Isn't previewing our work before we do it something beautiful? So, you'll notice this newer version of the software doesn't keep the old model open that we were in until we start editing. So we need to start editing the Demon Hunter. So for that, I don't know, we don't really need to change much. I just selected some vertices that didn't do much. But what that means is that now if I open Archimonde, we have two windows. We have them both open. So this should give me the ability to just import Archimonde from the workspace. It seems like a pretty reasonable thing to do. We're going to give Archimonde's attack animation to the Demon Hunter. So let's do that. Now, there used to be an issue on one of these menus that it only worked on Windows. How pitiful. But I don't think we're going to have that issue today. So, we're going to click this Motion from All button, which presumably will take a moment to load, but shouldn't be that long of a moment. Maybe it will be. For Windows reasons. That it only works on Windows. Why would that be? Because times are not good in this life. Alright, we'll run it again. Run it again. Don't click that button. Problem solved. So we're going to get ourselves a Demon Hunter, and then we're going to click once, get it stickied, and then we're going to open Archimonde. And now, I'm going to import Archimonde into the Demon Hunter. And this time, they don't even know how to spell Archimonde. This time, specifically, we'll use a different option, actually. Because clearly Motion from All is a bad deal. Can't click on that one. We're going to click Leave All. That ought to be a little faster. Come on, you got to give it to me. Leave all. Leave all button. That's paramount. Absolute necessity. Let's see if the other one finished. No, it didn't. So, you know, it would help if you used Windows for this. See, the issue, ultimately, The issue here is that, well, I suppose if we do a JStack, you're going to see that the AWT thread is locked the fudge up, emitting gnome signals. There's little gnomes because you got gnomed, and so the stupid program doesn't remotely work. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? And do you know why that is? No, I don't either. That's alright. It's something about setting the icon of a J label. I guess I did it one too many times. And these guys just can't handle that. So, what if we just go to the abstract snapshotting list cell renderer and shut it down? And maybe that would make one of these things wake up. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the abstract snapshotting list cell renderer 2D, and we're going to shut it down. Okay? All of it. Because it seems to be the source of the issue. You know what this means. No, that means we can't do that. What on earth is any of this doing? Alright, that's fair. I'll let that one go. Alright. It's been a little while since I was inside the abstract snapshotting list cell renderer 2D. You know, it has been a little while. Alright. Let's just get me. You know, if I open Archimon first, it'll be his portrait that gets closed. So that seems reasonable, right? Well, obviously I need to do the little box selection thing to get that open. Now we get the Demon Hunter. Beautiful. Now, let's try it one more time. Import Archimon into the Demon Hunter. There you go. It doesn't matter what operating system you run this software on. It should just work. Let's see there. Leave all button? Yes? No? We're not setting the icon anymore. I got rid of that. So what are you doing now, leave all button? What are you doing now? You'll note the last time we did JPS, we had 31.724 and 31.901. What do we have now? We have 31.724 and 31.901, but now we also have 32.333. So let's JStack that one and find out what's gone wrong. What do we have here? The exact same problem. The exact same problem. That's curious. I guess at some point I had the idea of using one model for multiple lists. And I thought I was so smart back then. So freaking smart. We got one model for all the lists. Isn't that genius? Except not on Linux. So, let's see what we can do. We have all these renderers. Where are they used? They're used in the import panel, our good friend. The most grotesque 4,000 line file ever written. It handles all of the imports. I wrote this 7 years ago. 7 years ago. I invented all of this to give us the ability to do what we want to do, and still people can't do it because of things like using one list model for all of the lists. How hard can it be to make them use multiple lines of lists? You know? Look at this one. After writing 3,000 lines of interface, finally, the engine for actually performing the model-to-model import. Can you imagine what that was like for me when I got to that point? Doesn't matter, however, because it no longer works. So let's just see what kind of list model we have. seems to be causing the issue in our JStack. We fire value changes. Somehow is hitting bone shell list cell render. So the ultimate question is actually, when we go to line 3026, who is actually using a bone shell list cell renderer? And that would of course be the bone renderer, it seems. And almost nothing else. Except for perhaps parent toggle renderer, which is superclass of the bone shell list cell renderer. Surprise, surprise. So, what was I doing 7 years ago that made something so terrible? That's the question, right? We have this bone renderer right here. It wasn't a part of the program 7 years ago when it was first written. It was something I added later. I thought I was so smart. And yet this renderer is shared between all the bone panels. A single renderer for all the bone panels. Is that a good idea? They share a renderer, and I think they also share some of the models. Boneless. Now, was that the one that was... No, that's per panel, right? That makes sense. This code is falling apart at the seams. What is list model? It's not typed. It's not anything that's remotely informative. We just don't know. It's just named list model. It's used in the bone list. Seems like that makes sense, doesn't it? So, what we want to do, maybe they shouldn't share a renderer. When we construct the panels, construct them all with the same renderer across multiple panels. I don't know, maybe that's not what we're supposed to do. Maybe each one should have its own renderer. What would happen if I did? This thing gets used for parent multi-bones. And for the import panel. But only ever once is it instantiated. Curious, right? Why can't I just make a new one every time? Get us some free context. Maybe the context will wake up the code. But when we set parent for multiple bones, we reuse the same thing. Not anymore, we don't. We're going to share it between all of them. Why the dickens not? Here you have it. It won't be shared between all of them, not anymore. There'll be one for every bone panel. Each one with its own renderer. Each renderer applied to the bone list. And the bone list, isn't that the one that does the crazy reconstruction? Yes, it is. So let's try that. I haven't really the faintest idea if that's going to work, but it's not impossible that it might. Now this is complaining. We never assigned the bone renderer. Simple, logical, easy to fix. We don't need it anymore. Now let's kick off the engine. See if anything changed. Maybe the signal emission behaviors will have improved themselves. So we'll go back to the Demon Hunter. Right here he is. We'll import Archimon. That's right. Good Archimon right there. We'll see what the heck happens if I click that leave all button. If this thing even works anymore. What about some of these old ones? Are they all still hung? They are still hung. So we're going to shut them down. They're not serving us. They're not doing what we want. We can't use them. All that work is lost. This Gradle model retrieval is not even meant to be running. Here you have it. Well, it did seem to take a little bit longer to pop up this window. But I wonder, can I click the Leave All button? Doesn't look like it's remotely any better than it was before. That's special. Well, I guess we'll have to shut that down too. There is something else that we could try. It's not necessarily likely to succeed, but it's worthy of the experiment. If we go to the Preferences window, we should be able to set the border theme. Instead of some kind of Java default, we might be able to use one of these, you know, dark blue, green. Some settings may not take effect till we restart the application. That's fine. Let's restart the application. See what we got now. Dark blue, green theme. Thank you. Now, having switched the theme, maybe the graphics will behave more like Windows. Heck if I really know. So let's get ourselves that Demon Hunter. We'll remind ourselves we're looking to do stand alternate. Now let's try to bring in that Warlock. Do we use the same code or do we use different code now? I don't know, to be totally honest. We'll find out. But it sure does seem like my attempted fix has really slowed down the system. Bone shell renderer, right? What was that thing named? Because I really thought it was bone shell renderer. Oh, it's the bone shell list cell renderer. Okay, great. When we create those, alright, admittedly I'm also creating model view managers. That would be a mistake. That would be something we should not be doing. What on earth is that used for? Something else. Anyhow, why is it making more managers? That's madness. This will be called current model manager. This will be called imported model manager. I invented the model managers. It should be fine to have multiple. Great. That might fix a little something. Still doesn't really explain our signal emission problem, though. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it gets any better. Doesn't seem that way at all. Really. Not one bit. Updating future bone list took 3 million nanoseconds. Updating future bone list. Future bone list extended. Average remove time. Remove count. Total remove time. So removing an element from the list takes numerous seconds. What was I doing? Start time. How do we know which one of these remove times is the total? Well, I guess they're all summed up, aren't they? Was it from removing an old helper? Renewing a new helper? What on earth is the difference? Old helpers and new helpers. What on earth is the difference? Old helpers and new helpers. Things that we're importing, and I'm saying if I did not choose to clear all the bones, then I have to go through the bones and see total remove time. Just from either. So it gets back to future boneless EX. Okay, that's the deal. Future boneless EX. This thing right here. This is exactly the source of the problem. This is what I was researching the last time I did this. Future boneless EX. What a beautiful thing. It is again a default list model that is used after it's created. And handed off to all of these guys. One bone list handed off to all of them. We could try to do it a different way. We could make a list of default list models. That's stupid. But I think maybe I've seen stupider. Okay, let's go back to those references here. Get future bone list EX. So we take the future bone list EX and we do all of this with it, and then who calls this function? This, creating future bones. And then when we want to do init list, this also creates the list, as does update selection picks. All of them do that. They all use the same fundamental future bones list. This one's really something special. It sets the model equal to the model that already exists. This is just so fabulously terrible code, and I'm the only person I think who's ever read it. Perhaps. Or if anyone else did, they probably turned their tail and fled. So, we've got that. We have got that. Many, many things call this get future bone list extended. Many of them stupid things. The way I'm interested in attempting this, and I'm not even sure if it's going to work, is whether or not we want to get a new snapshot. But that actually doesn't work because the system of how this is designed is so insane. It doesn't work at all, realistically. Future bone list extended. Every one of these, every one. Value change, state change. In some instances, there are things that just query the list and throw it away, knowing that they'll update the list for all to see. But we can't do that. Need to update all of the lists replicas as well. Future bone list extended. Let's try it. New snapshot. So if we get a new snapshot, then what we do is future bone list fixable items. Add future bone list EX. Or rather, default list model of bone shell, bone list replica, default list model. So if they ask us for a new snapshot, we're going to make one. And we'll add it to the list. And then we will return it. Otherwise, I don't think we actually want to return the master list. I think in the else case, we're just going to return something out of here. We'll do something like that. There you go. Yeah, we get some nice fat red underline on the end of it there. Great. Get future bone list extended. Future bone list EX. And these two matches. Aren't they nice? Future bone list EX, indeed. Future bone list extended. We don't need to call that down here anymore, I don't think we do at all. This is a horrible hack, but there exists a possibility that it would fix the issue. Maybe. I'm not entirely convinced. Something changes. So this would be a false. We don't need a new snapshot at that point. This case, yeah, this doesn't need to. Surely this doesn't need to be. Set parent for all. Well, actually, yeah, that would be. We'll give that a true. That'll be a new snapshot from our snapshot collection. This is most assuredly false. Our little state changed function. And then this guy. What is this? Bone panel. Get future bone list extended. What is this? This is of course ridiculous, but we'll put a true in there. We'll make a new snapshot. This one, some kind of nuts. Just gonna give it false, as I will do down here. Now the important thing is that with all of these replicas, I actually need to maintain all of them, which I wasn't doing. So when we're at this point that we have all of the replicas and we add and return the replicas, realistically, there's another thing I need to do. I need to say list model to return. Now list model to return will be assigned when we were previously assigning our return value. So you think we would just return list model to return. However, there's another step. For every default list model of bone shell ever created, future bone lists fixable items, we're going to fix all of them. Model.clear, and then for in I less than 0, I less than the real one true future bone list extended size. We're going to do model.add element future bone list extended ex.get element at index I. Auto-corrected back to index because we live in a joyous world. Guessing this thing is still... Oh, it did actually unfreeze itself eventually. Never, of course, minding the fact that it was actually taking That looks like 10 seconds for some of these behaviors. So let's get rid of that. Let's try the new one. See if it still takes 10 seconds. Or maybe it'll be a lot better. Or a lot worse. That would be really entertaining if it was a lot worse. So here we go. Here's a Demon Hunter. And, you know, he's got his morphed animations going on there. And let's go ahead and import from a unit, from Archimond, what we want. Go. Now we're going to find out. Does the leave all button actually leave all? That's a great question. Let's find out. We can't even open this thing. It's created too many renderers. Really bad. This whole system is really, really bad. Why is it so bad? It shouldn't be this bad. It's really ridiculous. What version of Java am I using? Java-version. Oh. Well, I do have the OpenJDK. Ubuntu switch from OpenJDK to Oracle JDK. Great. Might want to do that. Ask Ubuntu. Weather. Yeah, let's just get Oracle JDK. Okay, that was the Open JDK. Go back to that. Let's do, yeah, this one. Apt search Oracle Java. Let's see what you got. None, looks like. I don't think we want to use Linux Uprising. I think we want to use Oracle. Oracle JDK Ubuntu 1810. Surely there's like an Oracle web page for this. You would think. You would think. What is this? Is this what we want? Let's try it. When did he do this? This was years ago. Years ago. Years outdated. Oracle wants to bring us down. That's what's happening. Oracle wants to bring us down. They don't want cross-platform. They don't want convenience. They want us to write everything in C++ or have our souls sucked out. So obviously, the only logical option would be to recreate all of my work in C++. Are you going to do that for me? Are you going to do that for me because you need to make the Demon Hunter have Archimond's attack animation? You're going to stand and fight like an orc or a human for the Alliance. I got 5 minutes. Alright. can I do in my 5 minutes? Let me just go on here. Install Oracle JDK on Ubuntu. This sounds pretty promising. Okay, I need to just do this. I need to just do this right here. Need to just do this right here before Oracle can get our soul sucked out of us. Alright, Java. What's my password? What is my password? There you go. Okay, PPA supports. Install. Okay, press enter to continue. I mean, it's doing something, right? We're gonna do something. Great. Let's do the next one. We'll just install this untrusted Linux. Actually, you know what? That was not good. I shouldn't have done that. I should only do Java 8. That's stupid. You don't need Java 10. That's stupid. Yeah, let's see. How can PPAs be removed? Add apt repository remove. Great, that's what I wanted it to be. Right there, remove. That's what we meant to do. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Can't install Java 8. What a scum thing that is. Okay. Does this button work yet? No, it's just as slow as before. Okay, maybe it's a little bit faster than it was before, but it's still really, really sad. Really sad. But faster, but sad. Okay. We'll use it then. What is this going to take? 20 seconds instead of 20 minutes? That's good enough, right? I did something. I've accomplished something, if that's the case. What do we got? We're spinning through this thing, updating the list, and we're done. That's all we needed to do. Right there. Problem solved. I fixed it. What was I wasting my time with Oracle for? Get out of my house, Oracle. You're a waste of time. Alright. There you go. There you go. So now we get back to our feature presentation. Animation transport, which of course is made to be really, really hard compared to what it should be. Probably because your automated attempts at this are not going to know to use the ones that are named alternate, right? So we have to use bone root alternate. We have to use bone pelvis alternate, right? That's what we have to do. We have to use bone leg 1 alternate, leg 1L alternate, leg 2L alternate. It's just what you have to do. Foot alternate, leg 1R. This probably is slowed down by my ridiculous Linux hack that shouldn't even be necessary. Bone chest should be chest alternate arm 1R, needs to realign to arm 1R. So what I'm doing, right, is I'm taking every part of Archimon and I'm informing the system that it needs to translate that information into the body of the transformed alternate demon hunter, and not in anything else. Not in anything else, right? And I guess we could transfer some of the hero glow too, but probably we don't need most of it. So we got that, right? That ought to count for something. But it's certainly not everything. We have the light here and these particles, and I definitely don't want those to be visible in our alternative guide here. Something else you probably would want to do, if we go into animation mode over here and I choose stand alternate, right, and we have a look at this, here's his stand alternate, but this is his body where we can start to figure out our geosets. So the question becomes, what are the ones we care about? Clearly geoset 3, looks like geoset 9, it looks like 16, 17. Pretty good to me. Yeah, 3, 9, 16, 17. You can remember those numbers. Those are good numbers because, you know, 3, 9, 16, 17. Oh, look at this. I didn't even leave out the warlock. Okay, so we don't want the warlock geometry, right? We only want his attack 1 and attack 2. And of course, they need to be renamed. Just change. That's not what I meant to do. Import all of them. Import all of them. Leave all of them. Import this one. Import that one. And import rename all. Just name them alternate, okay? We're just making alternate animations. Great. Attack alternate 2, attack alternate 1. So we do that. We bring in these. What is this going into? I don't know what this is going into. Look, outside of the main body, we probably don't want any of the junk. We really probably don't. It's going to get messed up otherwise. We don't want any of the junk, right? We just his body. He's just going to do the attack animation. Simple. Straightforward. We're going to make the cloth not do anything. Okay? We don't need the cloth. Get out of here with the cloth. Alright, great. Get rid of the cloth. Yes, no, yes. Awesome. So that makes this a lot simpler and a lot better, and I hope I opted to ignore all the objects. Yeah, we'll ignore all the objects. So all we have to do here in the objects tabs is remember the numbers 3, 9, 16, 17, the numbers that we deliberately chose to keep. 3, 9, 16, 17. If you need double check verification on that, you just go back over here and we have 3, 9, 16, 17, obviously. Great, now what you do is you click not visible on everything else, right? That's going to give us only the Morphed Demon Hunter at that time. It's exactly what we want. And we tag this guy as not visible, and we tag these others as not visible. Now, presumably, anything that has visibility, so head, chest, hand, weapon, foot, all of these, it looks like. Okay, all of these, up to chest, not origin. We're going to have these not be visible. There's just no point for this particular animation. So now I'm going to click Finish. Some animations will lose complexity due to transfer incompatibility. There will probably be no visible change. That's really curious. I didn't know that that would happen, but it's probably going to be fine. Let's give it a spin here. Attack alternate. Look at that. Now we have him, and he attacks just like a Eridar. Just like a melee Eridar, just straight up. Just like you'd want him to be, although he seems to be vibrating obsessively, I have to admit. That isn't really what I'd want him to do. I wouldn't really want him to vibrate like that. I don't know why that's happening, to be honest with you. Shouldn't be happening in my book. But clearly it is. Let's see the... Some animations will lose. What's that about? Some animations will lose complexity due to transfer incompatibility. What is that all about? Here we go. There will probably be no visible change. M-tans. Tans. If S-tans and M-tans. What brilliant names. Clearly you know what that is, right? No, nobody knows what that is. What is S-tans? S-tans is source tans. M-tans must be the imported model as tans. So we're importing something that has tangential motion onto something that doesn't. There's clearly Clearly it did change how it animates, because you can tell that he's constantly vibrating, which looks horrible. Not to mention the fact that, realistically, right, this guy's node structure is bone root alternate. This thing, right, his root is not where it should be, right? If you really wanted to do this right, you'd go back to the Demon Hunter, right? We go back to the Demon Hunter, and we would bring in his own attack as the positioning for root. We should be able to do this. But even then, that's not a good idea, is it? What are we stuck doing? Opening the import menu again. I made things a lot worse than they were. We're really stuck. Really stuck doing a lot of processing. Open that import menu. I ought to put back that renderer. That was a waste of time. That was absolutely a waste of time. I regret the renderer. Is the snapshotting thing that made life better. Is this done yet? It's not. What is it doing? New bone shell-less cell render. Alright, great. All of these should probably just be the one single one. I'm going back on my decision about that. So this is bone shell renderer. Yeah, we'll use that on all of them. Convert that local variable to a field, and then anywhere else I have new bone shell-less cell renderer is just going to be the same guy. It's just bone shell whatever, bone shell renderer. Great. Right as I did that, this woke up. What a good time. So what we want to do here with our guy, right? What I was thinking. First, we want to verify, does his root move during all this? Yeah, it does. It moves all over the place. So I can't actually easily fix this with an automated import because his root is just not at the height it needs to be, right? We need it higher up in the air. We really do. And to do that, we need something different. I mean, obviously, he's got the punch. He's got Archimonde's punch, but he's missing his necessary motion into the air. Very unfortunate, if you ask me. You know what? I got an idea. Let's do something a little special. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna actually not set parent. We're gonna rename this one to bone super root alternate. So this is now the super root, okay? And the point of the super root is going to be that the root is going to parent to the super root. Trust me, you'll thank me later on. So now that the root parents to the super root, what I can do is I can just go back into attack alternate. I can say, wow, you know what the super root should do? It should just move upward and put him up here on the ground again, just like he should have been all along. Now I ask you, why is the super root moving like the root? That never should have been true. Okay, I take it back. We're deleting the super root. No more super root. Looks like I can't delete it while we're in the animator. That's stupid. Alright, no more super root. The super root needs to be nothing. It needs to be motionless. It needs to be a dummy. And in order to do that, we're going to get the farm. Okay, we're just going to get the farm, and we're going to copy one of the farm's nodes because it won't possibly be doing anything, right? Okay, there's this one for the saw. That's pretty dumb. I guess the saw is like a saw dummy. Look, it shouldn't be doing anything. We're going to copy it from here. We're going to paste it over here. So, yeah, I'm just pasting that. Now it better have no animation. Great. Great. Surely that has no animation. Give me a text editor. What are we pasting? So when you copy paste a model in this thing, you can paste it in Notepad and you can see it actually does apparently still have the rotation. That's a stupid thing. I'm going to delete that out of there. Get out of there. Great. We'll get rid of that. Cancel that. This one I just pasted here. This had animation on it, so it's toast. Now I'm pasting another one that I copied out of Notepad. Boom. Now it doesn't have animation on it. All right, great. So we're gonna put that down here, just front and center. We'll just position type in 000. Boom. So he's on 000. Now we can rename him to Bone Super Root Alternate. And now we're sure that this thing doesn't animate at all, right? We could even double check. We could say, what if we go to 14,967? There's not going to be anything at 14,967, right? Right? Custom time. 14,9600. That was one too many zeros. 14,990. Right. Okay. Get rid of our one too many zeros here. We don't want that. Yeah, that. See, it doesn't animate at 14,967 because I deleted it. Okay. Great. So this is super root, and the whole point of super root is that we can click on root. Probably don't want to do that in animation though. We can click on root. And we can set its parent to be super root alternate, which is just great because now you can go back to the animation. You can go back to attack alternate 1. And now it should be true if I move super root that nothing else moves in similar fashions, right? So I'm going to move super root upward here using this arrow. I'm going to put it so that his feet touch the ground, okay? And now as he animates, his feet stay more or less on the ground. Look at that. Isn't that great? And we go to attack 2. And actually, let's not even drag it again. That's silly. We'll go back to attack 1 here with Bone Super Root. We're going to click this little copy button. We're just going to copy Super Root straight away. And I'll drag it back here, and I'll Control V it. So that should have pasted it back in space. It didn't, though, because I accidentally hit the keyboard key that I shouldn't hit. So now we'll do it. We'll do it again. There we go. Now he's up there. So now you look at him, and he has... That was an accident. That was totally an accident. Just going to reset layout. Okay. So now you look at him, and he has attack alternate. He's actually on the ground, right? It's not quite the same as stand ready where he's floating, but you get him on the ground. Okay, now he's got his punch. Now he's got his other punch. Now, I got another idea for you, okay? Don't waste your time. Everything we just did, this is a total waste of time, right? Okay, if you've ever looked at, if you've ever actually looked in the game's files, here's the data browser, right? Okay, if I go to replaceable textures command buttons, these are all the icons of Warcraft 3, right? I want to talk to you about BTN Vengeance Incarnate. Okay, now if you search through here, you'll find BTN Vengeance Incarnate. It's a hidden icon for something that looks really interesting, right? Whatever might this be? If you look up Frozen Throne beta models, right? And you get this on the Hive, okay? Blah, blah, blah. Do you have the download link? Son, this right here. Blizzard created something based off of the alternate form Demon Hunter that was restyled to be a Warden. A Demon Hunter Warden. And you can find it on the Hive. And if you download it, what is this? Warcraft old stuff. Beta versions of Warcraft 3. And alpha of Warcraft 2. Really? What is this? I don't know. I think that's just the beta. There's somewhere else you can download the beta. Alright, this is beta model. The Frozen Throne, this is what you want. This is what you want right here, okay? The Frozen Throne beta models, okay? Not Reign of Chaos beta, okay? You want Frozen Throne beta models, okay? That's what you want to get. And once you get that, wherever you get that from, right? Get that in your download folder. TFT beta models. Why is it a RAR file? What year is it? All right, we get our beta models, Warcraft 3 beta models. Great, and you go in here and you find Spirit of Vengeance beta, okay, and copy that. Put it somewhere you'll find it, right? Warcraft 3 models folder, maybe? Spirit of Vengeance beta. Great. Let's go back to our software technology. Recalling, of course, this icon that I was talking to you about, right? Now, if we open Spirit of Vengeance beta, you look at this thing. Now, it doesn't render quite right because this guy who uploaded it didn't actually know that it required a texture that I'm not even sure if he provided. He probably did. He probably did. I don't think. My code doesn't load this texture correctly. I don't think. It doesn't do that. I forget why. There's something going on with it. It's like textures, grad 1x. Yeah, it's supposed to be textures. This is supposed to, okay, this is supposed to be textures grad 1x. That's one thing. Right? Textures, blah, blah, okay. Yeah, that was one definite thing. Not to mention this bizarre use of Team Glow. Okay, Spirit of Vengeance 2, maybe. If I save it again, we're gonna get it where the texture actually loads because it was in a folder named textures. No, we didn't. That didn't work. All right. Well, so obviously it's a little bit hard to get this thing to open because the guy changed it from the one that's actually in the beta. It's not the original model from the Blizzard. It's been modified to use a different texture path, which is irritating at best. But it seems to be the case that even if I edit the textures to use textures / grad1x, I would have assumed that this would be finding that in that same folder. grad1x.blp textures / grad1x. Why do we not? Is that a conflict with a game file? I don't think it was. It's definitely not. Why would we not be able to find textures grad1x? Well, the only logical solution would be that on Linux, everything is case sensitive. That would be a logical solution. So grad1x textures. So maybe do we not capitalize textures the right way? Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, so there you go. Didn't load the game texture, grad1x. That didn't work for us. It also seems like we have Team Glow 00 loading badly, but I don't know why that is. I don't really know why he would use textures Team Glow 00. That's a stupid path. It seems like you wouldn't want to do that. Team Glow. Oh, here's Team Glow 000. Now, why on earth would that be? That's scary. Why would that be? I don't know. Alright. There's export texture. Look at that. It almost thinks it found grad1x. I don't think it did, but maybe it did. Edit textures. Well, we'll put Team Glow 000. Why not? Well, really, it can't find grad1x. It's not finding grad1x. It should find that. I'm surprised it doesn't find that. I would want it to find that on the hard drive in the folder next to this model. Alright, well, suffice it to say that this thing that was made to look kind of like the Demon Hunter has an attack animation that is much more befitting of the Demon Hunter, and I think might be kind of like the Demon Hunter's original one. I'm not really sure. Attack alternate. Yeah, see his ranged thing where he does his fist, this is different than what you get if you import onto him from the workspace. and you import, we're not going to render it correctly with grad1x. There's some kind of loading bug on that, but we can still do an import, you know, assuming it loads. We'll just give it its sweet time, I guess. This is a different import. I need to close. Still, what is it doing? Here we go. Yeah, close that one. All right, importing the Spirit of Vengeance into the Demon Hunter. So we're leaving behind all the geometry, right? My whole point here is just get this attack animation, which we should be able to bring in and just rename attack alternate. Maybe attack alternate 2, you know, whatever you want to do. We leave objects and go to bones, noting that apparently they actually renamed these things. It's the stupidest thing they could have done. So they're not named alternate. Thank you, Blizzard employee, for spending your time on the most important thing. So obviously we want to translate everything into the alternate, not in the original. That's just sensible, right? We're going to do that so we get a good transfer. Other than that, these models are really, really similar. They basically copied the Demon Hunter Morphed to make this Spirit of Vengeance model, so you know it's pretty much the same. It's made by Blizzard. Yeah, that ought to do it. Let's see if we. I guess there's wings. Should we get in the wings? I think that's usually SSD or DSD, and sometimes their name is the same. SDSS. Oh, looks like they're not because you know they're alternate. SDSS alternate. Great. 09 SSS. That's ridiculous. Alright, there's 24 SSS. There's 20 SSS. It's DSS. My mistake. So actually I could probably start at the top. That would probably be the most reasonable. You can see that these models are, it's like all the same names on everything, right? They're just totally the same. I don't know what this mesh 1 is. This looks like this is new. This is the Warden frill, so we don't need it, right? It doesn't have an equivalent between the two. So we'll just throw it out. Forearm, hand, Plano 1, BO1. I don't know if alternate has it. I don't think it does. So there's a couple decorations that are different between the two models, but you know, generally they are about the same. So I'm pretty confident in this transfer. All right, let's see. Bone forearm. It'll be right here. Forearm alternate. Bone hand. Hand alternate. There you go. Plano 1B. Probably not going to find that one. Leave that out. Mesh 04 alternate. Does exist. Hairbase. Hairbase alternate. See, this was trying to import into original Hairbase. That's just a no-no. Hero 1 alternate. Hero 2 alternate. Trip alternate. Mesh 18 alternate. Where are you? Maybe it doesn't exist. I don't know. Might be that it doesn't exist on that one. Alright. Yeah, I don't see any of these next couple, so we're just gonna knock out all of them. And then we'll get to 28 SDS. 09 SS. 24 SS. 20 SDSS. What is this? SDS. Like, what is this naming convention? Is the dude just hitting the keyboard with his hand? Is that why it's named SDSDHDS and ERR? What? I've never gone and figured out what was in his head that he would ever name it that. of all the things that you could possibly name something, why would you type SDSDRDS? I really want to find this man and ask him, what does that mean? What on earth does that possibly mean? Because they did this in several models. I've done this before. It's not why, right? You tell me. Because I surely do not know. Okay? I surely do not know. And so it's up to you to find out. Because I'm not going to tell you. Because I don't know. I'm going to show 3. So obviously what I'm doing now is a waste of time. We're held back by the insufficiencies of this software and the fact that I can't edit it at runtime when we're already using it. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to do what we're doing because it's a stupid thing to do. But it's the only way I know of. Seems like this one's called 0201. I don't know if that means there's like an 02 that's not a 1. Seems pretty analogous though. Object 17, object 16. I mean, I think I got just about everything that correlates here. All of our correlation. There you go. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I think that'll probably go pretty well for us. Cool. So that was that. Now, are we sure we got the attack animation? Yeah, we got the attack animation. Alright, great. So now we got our attack animation. And we go back to where we want to say all of these and all of these will be not visible in the new animation. And all of these minus 3, 9, 16, and 17, if I've remembered my numbers correctly. Let's see, 3, 9, 16, 17, yeah. Will be also set to not visible, and this should give us a pretty decent result. Let's find out. Alright, attack alternate 2. Look at that animation. See that animation? He's even doing his little foot thing. His feet are the same. And his wings move, right? And that's because we're taking this melee attack animation out of the Frozen Throne beta. So now we've created 2 solutions. We have this guy with a punching, and we have this guy with another punching, like Archimon, and we have this guy even with Frozen Throne beta punch from the old Spirit of Vengeance. So I think we'll just save that, okay? And we'll just name this thing Melee Demon Hunter Morphed. And we'll save that as MDX. So there you go. That's all you got to do. So simple. Or maybe not. I got to go to bed. So yeah, have a good one.